Vra'kor stood motionless on the ridge, his body dissolving into the air like a faint shimmering distortion. The optical camouflage flickered softly with each breath, blending the colors of red stone, burning sand, and shadow into one shifting veil, completely concealing the hidden hunter. He watched the human. Darius Hale, medium size. Physical capacity merely acceptable. Heart rate fluctuated clearly under stress, yet remained controlled. Adrenaline levels high but not chaotic. Thermal stabilizer outdated. Energy weapon of an old generation, sufficient only to irritate a small beast. Not worthy of a trophy, not worthy to hang upon the honor racks of the Yautja. But a variable. A creature that knew how to observe, how to choose angles, how to hold its breath at the right moments. Humans were usually loud, hasty, but he was not. Useful? Not yet. Dangerous? Possibly. Worth killing? Not yet. Vra'kor tilted his head, the eyes behind the mask glinting with a razor-edged evaluation. A prey that did not need to be killed but still needed to be watched. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Once. Then again. Stronger, deeper, more violent. Vra'kor immediately shifted into hunting mode. The sensors on his mask flared open. Seismic data flooded in. A massive signature was rushing from the southwest. Its shockwaves shattered the sand structure in wide concentric rings like collapsing whirlpools. Gorvax, not the small kind. Not the juvenile kind. A fully grown male, a warrior-class threat. Vra'kor lowered himself. One massive hand tightened around the folded spear. A dry click snapped from his wrist as the weapon unfolded into a double crescent blade. His only limitation now was the human standing below. The beast was charging straight toward him. Vra'kor clenched his jaw beneath the mask. The situation had reversed too quickly. He did not want combat while another creature was disrupting the battlefield. But if he allowed the Gorvax to get too close, it would tear this entire area apart and destroy the primary subject he had been tracking since dawn. A roar shattered the air. The Gorvax burst from the red sand like a molten abomination forged in the core of the planet. Its purple gleaming plates pulsed, each crystal segment vibrating like a beating heart. Heat radiated from it, blowing the sand outward in swirling microstorms. Darius Hale stood below, only dozens of steps away. He had no chance. Vra'kor triggered attack mode. 2 lines of Yautja script streamed across his visor. Combat frequencies expanded. The muscles in his arms and shoulders tightened as his entire body launched forward like a phantom tearing through the air. He abandoned the Hale target, not out of mercy, but because the Gorvax was the true trophy, the worthy threat, the only opponent deserving of death in this moment. From below, Darius Hale saw only a storm of light and shadow. The Gorvax roared as it was slammed aside, its 7-ton frame crashing into the rock wall, exploding into brilliant purple sparks. The impact cracked the ground under Hale's feet. He staggered, clinging to a stone outcrop, eyes wide with disbelief. A distorted shape, nearly invisible, streaked through the dust. It moved too fast for Darius to tell what it was. Then suddenly, the camouflage flickered, warped, shattered. A giant emerged, a dark gray metal mask, twin crescent blades shining like 2 slashes of light, long, heavy dreadlocks swaying with each movement, a massive body clad in black bone armor that caught the sun like the scales of a war god. Yautja. The being he had sensed but never dared believe was real. Darius stood frozen, breath caught as Vra'kor collided with a Gorvax 5 times his size. Metal and monster roars erupted through the air. Everything happened too fast, too violently, too far beyond human comprehension. 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes. The blades pierced through the silicon armor of the Gorvax, punching through layers harder than steel. The beast shrieked, its tail smashing the ground like a hammer. Darius saw the 2 titans coil around each other, breaking sand, hurling glowing crystals into the air. An execution between 2 apex predators. Darius felt his legs trembling. He had no role in this battle. He was no warrior, no hunter. Just a small, fragile creature trapped on a world that did not belong to him. Through the dust-blurred visor of his helmet, he saw the Yautja twist, locking the Gorvax's neck in a crushing force. A heartbeat later, another strike landed. The monster's roar twisted into a choking, broken sound. Darius swallowed hard. He knew, even if only for a moment, that if the Yautja wished it, he too would die just as quickly as the Gorvax, split apart, sliced in half, or worse, taken as a collector's item. The thought chilled him to the bone. But what he did not know was that above, Vra'kor still reserved a fragment of attention for him, not to protect him, but to evaluate, to see how long this human could stand before being devoured by this planet, and whether he deserved to live into the next day.